the monopoly market as such is a matter of great concern and has to be studied in detail. When I said a monopolistic market, a monopoly market, it means that there is a single firm, industry, which is selling its product in the market. There is no competitor, there is nobody who can challenge the product that they are selling, which means that not even close substitute of that product are available in the market. Here, the most difficult part of this monopolistic market is that the entry of new firms is highly restricted. And of course, there is great price discrimination. Since the person supplying, the person selling is one, so he has prices which vary from market to market, area to area, place to place. Supposing he is selling his product in a market which is a high-end market, he will sell it at a great price, at a big price. And if he is selling it at a market which is meant for middle income group, then that same is being sold at lower price. So, the monopolistic market is a market which in fact is the strangest kind of market, where you have only one seller, where you have no substitute, where the entry is difficult, where the price determination is not there, in a sense that here the most difficult problem is that the buyer enforces the price that he wants and takes it from the consumers. Now let us try and understand as to how a market becomes a monopolistic market. How is it that only one firm, industry, factory takes over the entire production and there are no competitors, there are no people who are in competition? Well, such a situation arises due to many factors, like for example, the granting of patent right. Patent right is when you claim that you have produced something new and you do not want to share it with others for X number of years. That is to say, the government then gives you the patent right to manufacture and sell that product for some years as a claim that you are the discoverer, inventor of that product. For example, the Xerox machine, when it was invented, it was only this Xerox that got the copyright or that got the right to manufacture it. The writers also have a claim which is called the copyright, that nobody can take over or rather copy down the material that they have written. Even a particular brand of refrigerator claimed that the door cooling is their thought, their invention. That is why it got the patent right over the door cooling for some years. Well, another factor which gives right to the monopolistic market is licensing. Licensing is when the government gives you, grants you the right to sell or manufacture a particular product. Here if I talk of the Vidyut boards which were there, had the right to sell electricity. And of course, now it has been privatized. There are many players into this market, but initially the licensing was given to the Vidyut boards only. Then another factor is the cartel, formation of cartel. Formation of cartel is when certain business organizations, firms, industries come together and they decide upon that they are going to show as one single firm unit outside, and their business interests are going to be similar. This is formation of a cartel because they realize that once they are together, once they are united, they'll be able to gain more profit than if they are separated. So, the formation of cartel, that is to say all those units which are producing a particular commodity come together and sell it under one brand name. Then of course sometimes the investment also makes a particular commodity as a monopolistic market. It could be huge investment, say for example the running of railways or the postal telegraph, or it could be the steel locomotive engines and so on, make a particular market, a commodity as a monopolistic market. So, whether it is the granting of patent right, the issuing of license, the formation of cartel or the investments, the various factors do help in making a monopolistic market. Most of the time a monopolistic market is criticized because it is here that the price determination cannot be done. The correction of price cannot be done because he is the sole provider of that commodity, and so he enforces, puts the tag of the price that he wills to state. Well, here we have to understand that when there are various factors playing like this in the market, making it as monopolistic, oligopoly or the free competitive market, then there is something which makes the leftward or rightward shift of a supply curve. So, the next topic is that what are those reasons which make the leftward or the rightward shift of the supply curve. When I talk of this, the first factor is of course, or the first reason is the factor inputs. That is to say, when my price or my expenses start rising because I have hired laborers, because I have a unit, because I have machines, I have running costs. So, in order to see that I get profit, I start manufacturing more than what is required. So, the factor input make the shift in the supply curve. It can be sometimes that the advancement in technology can also increase the production. Earlier, I had a machine which was producing, for example, 20 televisions in say 2 hours. But now there is something which has increased the efficiency to 40. So, automatically my production increases because of the advancement, enhancement of technology, making a shift in the supply curve. Then sometimes what happens is that there is no substitute in the market and there is an increase of demand in the market. When this happens, that is the time that I start of course manufacturing more. When the excise duty becomes more, I produce less, and when the excise duty becomes less, I produce more. When there are no other firms to compete with me, I start producing more. So, these various factors, that is the factor input, technology increase in the demand, no substitute, increase or decrease in the excise duty, and no competitive firm, make the shift in the supply curve towards the leftward or the rightward.